Hello, and thank you for joining me again at Evolutionary Energy Arts. So 5G technology, what do we really have coming our way very soon? Is this really going to be something that's beneficial for us? What's it really going to bring? And really, what is behind the move to 5G? 5G being the fifth generation of this technology. And this is actually an all new technology that they are developing. They are selling it as faster, more reliable, and the government especially is selling it as more secure. And they're hyping it as being something we need to have in order to compete against China, and also in order to secure our security and basically cut off hackers from getting in easily and disrupting things. So this is going to be a more secure system, they say. This is going to be a faster, more reliable system. But what's going to be the cost? And is there any other agenda going on here besides simply making something faster and more secure and easier? Is there perhaps a nefarious agenda? So this article is out of naturalblaze.com, and it's 5G technology, a health crisis waiting to happen. And as I have talked about so often, you and I, everything that is energy. Everything is energy. Everything, as Tesla said, think in terms of wavelength, frequency, vibration. That's the secrets to the universe. And that's all you and I are, and that's all anything is. So vibrations, frequency, wavelength, those things define us, but they also can influence and affect us in so many different ways. When you get out in nature and you get away from the city, when you get away from the buzz, and the buzz is real, I mean, it's real now, that you could just feel it. When you go into a city and there is invisible waves of energy penetrating you from every single angle, it's very, very easy, especially if you are very, very sensitive to energy, to feel disconcerted, to feel a buzz, to feel kind of like you're under attack, or like you're just being violated almost, because in effect you really are. And the 5G technology that's going to come out, they don't even know what it's going to do to people. We know already that with the 4G and the 3G technology that we have, and the cell phones, the cell phones can cause brain tumors, and that's real, and they could disrupt the way we feel, and they disrupt our brain wavelength and our wave patterns of our brain. They could disrupt our thoughts. And we know there are directed energy weapons. There are new ways of controlling crowds. And there are so many experiments going on with weapons that are using just different wavelengths of energy. So there are definitely serious health, safety, and environmental concerns over this 5G that's going to be coming out. So the FCC has given the okay for telecommunication industry to operate the fifth generation technology using new spectral frontiers, making the USA the first country in the world to do so. However, operation on this new higher frequency electromagnetic spectrum range has never been evaluated for how it will impact humans or animals and the environment. No, there's no real long-term studies on it. And this is quite an appalling circumstance when you consider the current wireless technology with its electromagnetic hypersensitivity is known to disrupt biological integrity and cause ill health. People's exposure to EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, have been known to result in, for example, neurological effects, brain tumors, learning difficulties, nervous conditions, hormonal and behavioral patterns. It has been said that the same will happen with 5G technology, and perhaps way more severe. So what about kids? Are they more susceptible than adults because of their smaller bodies take in higher EMF radiation? So if it's allowed, 5G will be another addition to the list of silent killers associated with deceptively harmful technology. So this article even goes on to so boldly say that, in short, the globalists have a depopulation agenda, and they want to cull us off slowly because they can make a lot of money out of it along the way. The new 5G technology with the mobile network will change from operating on microwaves at something around 3 gigahertz to the higher millimeter waves, such as 40 gigahertz. Millimeter waves that can have a completely different biological effect. They have been used as military weapons. Armies have directed high-intensity millimeter waves on the enemy, causing them the sensation of skin burning, while also affecting sweat ducts. Further, for some years, low-intensity millimeter devices have been used in Russia for therapeutic treatment to alter the patient's cell metabolism. Because the new 5G technology pulses more with a higher frequency, it has the potential to increase the likelihood of ill health and make it happen faster. Besides the above-mentioned illnesses, potential harm through 5G technology can also include cognitive decline, such as Alzheimer's, damage to the DNA, which we're getting damage to our DNA from so many different areas, including GMOs, cancers such as breast cancer, and much more. Is this the future you want for you and your family and friends? Is the convenience of faster download speeds from 5G technology really worth increased cancer rates, increased Alzheimer's rates, and perhaps giving someone the ability to control people's thoughts, behaviors, attitudes? What do you think? Besides ill health, having ties to the transhumanist agenda, 5G serves to link up not only the devices but also humans worldwide into what has been called an Internet of Things, a phrase coined by ex-CIA chief David Petraeus. The Internet of Things is far more than meets the eye. It's a deception, a euphemism for the plans to enslave us all in an all-encompassing, inescapable technological control grid prison. Unable to escape the control grid, our every thought and every movement will be monitored and controlled, all consistent with the technocrats' technocracy agenda. So, is this the invisible web that will, and there was a movie about this, enable them to see that you think a certain way? And you might not have even committed the quote-unquote crime, but you've thought of the crime. So you're likely to do the crime. So they're going to throw you in Gitmo, and nobody will ever see you again. Is that what this is leading to? Cellphonecancer.com, again, talking about the looming risks of 5G technology. And this is something that is knocking on our door. So, is it even remotely safe? The fact is, we have no idea. And, well, I shouldn't say that. Because we do know that what we have now with the 4G and the 3G, which has preceded it, has definitely caused some health concerns. And I, for one, know that if I talk in a cell phone and put it to my head just even for a minute or two, I will get a migraine that will last for hours and even days sometimes, so I don't do that. It's always speakerphone, Bluetooth. So what will this do? I mean, if we're really increasing things by 10 or 20 times, can you imagine what that's going to do to your brain? And not even when you're using your phone. This is all just invisible energy that's going and penetrating your body every day. You're being exposed to this every day. Your kids are being exposed to this every day. Is it no wonder that the fertility rates are declining exponentially? It's all been planned. Remember that? Reduce the population to a manageable 500 million. So is this another way to do that? Is 5G even remotely safe? No. I mean, if the old technology is not safe, then this is not going to be safe. And can it be used as weapons? Oh, most definitely. And they already have weapons that do this. Very, very similar. It'll actually burn your skin. Great for crowd disbursement when people are going to protest. And there's even more nefarious things down there. There are patents talking about producing desired brain states in people through using these technologies. These technologies can turn you into a zombie. And is that the ultimate goal? Does that make the population easier to control while the population reduction is going on? T-Mobile building 5G networks everywhere. So they're expanding their plans on 5G today, announcing they'll build out 5G based mobile networks to 30 cities this year. And that's not all of it. The Eisenhower National Highway System for the Information Age, secure 5G. So we actually have government documents too that are talking all about what's going on, and it's all a fear of China. China is ahead of us. It just like the Russians in the 50s. The Russians are ahead of us. The Russians are ahead of us. You know, we got to catch up. We got to beat them to the moon. We have to build more nuclear weapons. Well, now it's all about cyberspace, and China is the dominant competitor, and we must beat China. The only way we could do that without the Russians interfering with our elections, without them hacking into our computers, without the Chinese hacking into our computers, we have to have this 5G network. And the government, there are some in the government that don't want this to be a private enterprise venture. The Trump team is considering nationalizing the 5G network. And here is what I feared about the Trump regime and what my inner voice has said all along is that, and don't get me wrong, because I've shared this with you guys before, that I felt that if Hillary got in office, we were having World War III. I felt if Hillary was the president, we are going to have World War III shortly, and we're going to have a nuclear war. And that's what my inner voice, my higher guidance, inner knowing, whatever you want to call it, I just knew that's the case. So I did not want Hillary in there. Did I want Trump in there? Not really. I didn't want either of them in there. I didn't like either of them. But of the two of them, I felt that nuclear war would be imminent with Hillary and World War III, so I'd rather risk what I feared would happen with the Trump presidency is we're going to see the rise of the new Reich. And we are going to see all-out governmental control over every facet of life. And we're going to see the semblance of democracy gone. And the walls that can be built, they could be built to hold people out from getting in, and they could also be built to keep people in from getting out. And also, I just felt that with Trump in power, it's going to turn into a dictatorship. And that was just my gut. And would I rather risk a dictatorship or risk what I felt to be an immediate World War III and nuclear war? I guess I would rather risk the dictatorship if we had no other choices, and then hope that people wake up and stop it from happening. Of course, I would rather have had neither of them. Now, the Trump team is considering nationalizing the 5G network, and we're going to see a lot more of this. We're going to see a centralization and all-out control by the military-industrial complex taking completely over. And semblance of democracy is going to go by the wayside. That's what I'm fearing. So we really have to be vocal about all this. We really have to make our wishes known. We really have to get rid of all the yes men and get rid of pretty much 97% of Congress, maybe 99% of Congress. Trump national security officials are considering an unprecedented federal takeover of a portion of the nation's mobile network to guard against China, according to sensitive documents obtained by Axios. Why does that matter? We got our hands on a PowerPoint deck and a memo, both produced by a senior National Security Council official, which were presented recently to senior officials at other agencies in the Trump administration. The documents say America needs a centralized nationwide 5G network within 3 years. There's going to be fierce debate, and there is fierce debate already, and an outcry from the industry over the next 6 to 8 months on how such a network is built and paid for. The two options laid out by the documents: the U.S. government pays for and builds the single network. And really that means you and I. The taxpayers do it. Do you think it's going to be the government? The government is us, but it's not us because we're ruled by the government, but yet we're the ones that fund it. An alternative plan where wireless providers build their own 5G networks that compete with each other. Though the document says the downside is it could take longer and cost more, it argues that one of the pros of that plan is it would cause less commercial disruption to the wireless industry of the government, as opposed to the government building the network. And then a source familiar with the document says that option 2, which is the wireless providers building their own, is really no option at all. A single centralized network is what is required to protect America against China and other bad actors. So it's already a done deal. They know what they're doing. And watch and be wary of the power grabs that go on with this. And this is just the beginning. So a general leaves the National Security Council after the leak of that 5G telecom memo report. Why did he leave? What was in this memo? Well, obviously it was saying this is going to be centralized. This is a military thing. This is about national security, quote unquote. This is about the boogeyman, and the boogeyman in this case is now China. Use the boogeyman to scare the public into anything. And here we have a whitehouse.gov document about everything we were just talking about. And of course, I'll have links for all this for you guys to look through on your own, peruse, educate yourself. So does the human body have a resonance frequency? Of course it does. And it's different in each section of the body. But these energies are going to be abusive to the human body, disruptive to the human body. And again, is it worth it? Is this worth people dying of cancer? Is this worth people suffering with Alzheimer's? Is this worth, again, our giving our authority away, the ability to control our bodies, and perhaps even our abilities to think clearly? These energies can be used to control populations. These energies can be used to punish, to cause pain. They can be used to manipulate nervous systems. Crowd control. How does half of 1% keep the 99.5% under control? They use technology. For one, they use propaganda. For two, they pray to the things, our needs, our wants, our desires. They do it all the time. They do it all the time, trying to get us to eat fast food, trying to get us, to kill ourselves in a numerous amount of ways, making GMO foods that are going to disrupt and harm our DNA so inexpensive, and organic food so expensive. And I don't want to be a downer on everything, but this is the truth, and we need to make others aware of this. There's real danger here. We don't even know how much it's going to be able to affect our minds. We really don't. Is everybody going to be going around wrapped up in tinfoil? Are those people that don't wrap themselves up in tinfoil going to be dying of cancer in ever increasing rates? What's really going on here? And why can't we stop them? Why don't we have a say in anything? Why can't we just say, no, you're waiting until we know for sure everything is safe? And since it doesn't look like it's safe, then forget about the whole idea. And then there's those people out there that just, whatever. I just want my faster downloads, dude. That's all. So, I'll die sometime. Whatever. I just, I want to watch the movie without any interruptions. I want to play my video games without any bogging down. God help us. So everybody needs to wake up. This is definitely something that's very, very serious, and on more level than one. For sure, it's a health crisis. For two, is it a power grab? It very well could be. Is it another method of control? It definitely could be. Is it another weapon that could be pointed at us? It definitely could be. As always, everyone, share your comments on this. What are you guys thinking? Share this video. Wake up people. Get people thinking, questioning, and crap, we need to write some letters to Congress, then we do that. If we need to get out and do some letters to the editor, we do it. We do whatever we have to. We need to speak up before the 99.5% of us gets culled to half of 1%. And then you have half of 1% in control, and the other half of 1% is just a small group of slaves, completely under control, not even able to think on their own anymore. Completely controlled. Nothing but meat sacks. We don't want that. We don't want to be controlled. That's not what human life is supposed to be all about. We need to speak up. We need to make changes. So please, as always, thumbs up helps help the channel grow, help the channel get the word out. Subscribe and share with as many people as you can. Wake them up to the dangers of what is knocking at our door. And I look forward to your guys' comments. Stay safe out there, my friends. Thank you for joining the Evolutionary Energy Arts family. I am so honored and proud that you guys are with us. And I look forward to speaking to you all again very soon. Take care, my friends.